Young woman gets schooled on her ideas of feminism.
But there's something to be said about age and experience, life experience. A lot happens in your 20s, and things level out.
Getting
when you
ran
get
through
older.
in baggage and trauma.
There's people with
men don't want that.
Don't like
Men don't want that in a partner.
Then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are they running around town? Like, you know, if they don't want us ran through and baggage and trauma, why are they like they're waiting till like, how are we so at 20 I should be looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle? Like, I don't know how to
not necessarily.
I don't know how you it sounds like just a losing battle all around if you look at it as like all the responsibilities.
But
like,
it depends on if you're a wife. All wives are found, always. If you're 20 years old and you're a wife, you're going to be found, period, in a story.
Women play the victim successfully throughout their lives in order to achieve various objectives such as financial gain, receiving attention, or avoiding consequences. Women en masse are now raising young boys to believe they are evil and toxic. They are on a mission to devalue and obliterate all facets of traditional masculinity. I think everyone at this point has an idea of what's been happening in the public school systems in Western nations, which are overwhelmingly run by women. Men are routinely portrayed in the media as incompetent, overly aggressive, and unethical.
Is like girls want to sleep around in their 20s and then at 30 run to a man, and like but you've lost the things that men value by the time you're 30. You're no longer pure, you're no longer youthful, and so men are kind of tired of it, because what happens is they'll date the bad boys, the rappers, whatever, in their 20s, and then they hit 30. One guy thinks like this is his lucky ticket, this girl's super into him, but she just wants kids. And like she really feels like she settled for him. She gets the kids and then half the time leaves.
Feminists have been training women to be men. That's pretty much a prerequisite for a professional career these days. But it's also a formula for failure in your personal life. A feminine woman and a man go together like a nut and a bolt. Meanwhile, women are most often portrayed as virtuous, peaceful, and highly competent. It is women who very often manipulate men to become violent on their behalf, while simultaneously perpetuating the narrative that all men are needlessly aggressive and destructive. In reality, however, women are just as aggressive, and perhaps even more destructive. How many men are assaulted or murdered by other men over a woman?
So I'm in my car, I'm about to go home. The date didn't happen. He texted me, and it was a joke.
It's a small minority of men who get pretty much all of the matching.
We both have the same type of man. Like, we like a nasty f***er. We like a criminal.
I don't need a man. We're gonna talk about cheating and how to get away with it.
He had no intention on showing up.
Okay, for all of my girlies who are considering their first phase, do it.
Do not date a woman for 3 months. Her.
So when you go hook up, you need to see it as sex and you're out. Sex and you're out.
And then ghost her for 4 days and dump her and then tell her it's just because you don't have romantic feelings for her.
I was always so curious, you know, what it would be like to really get beaten by someone in a sexual way.
I spent 2 hours getting ready. I drove 25 minutes to get here.
Girl, you don't need no f***ing man.
I do not need a man. I can finance myself, I can myself, and I can feed myself.
Like, I'm a single mom and I work from home. I'm trying to find a person, and like, I have a lot of hobbies, I have a lot of friends, but like right now I'm going through a really difficult time.
I may end up 35 and single, so...
Just look up the statistics. Women are quite simply trained from birth to become master manipulators. Modern women in the West currently enjoy more options, support, and privilege than any man throughout history. Still, do you think there's a patriarchy? Give me a break.
It's not at all what it used to be. Like, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage. No. It is first comes sex, then comes ghosting, then comes emotional trauma and trust issues.
I don't know how to let somebody good in my life, so I just don't entertain anybody.
And in my experience, I began to feel just disrespected by every single guy that I ever slept with. I always would feel like as soon as I, gave it up to a guy, I would just be like trashed to the side. Like, I was like disposable, and it was really affecting my mental health and like making my self-confidence a lot worse.
Life is just really lonely. Just another holiday, I'm by myself.
A masculine woman and a man go together like two bolts. The masculine professional woman may disguise her masculine nature to get married, but eventually, it will express itself as competition with the man for dominance and control in the family. That leads to divorce for irreconcilable differences, not surprisingly. The fact is that women trying to be masculine in a home is what leads to high divorces. Men and women have distinct roles. They should complement each other and not compete. Men head the home, women support as helpers. Fact is, women do need men. Most of them realize that too late when they're past the wall hitting their mid-40s and realizing they're missing a big chunk of life. This is not a feminist point of view. Women have always gone after men who had more money than they do. That's human history. Now they, being strong, independent feminists, also only want a man who has more money. Isn't there some kind of peak in their thinking? They're using the same thinking as all women before them in history. It really is only about money, so they want to have the richer guys, which are what women always wanted. How is that feminist? I wonder how many great guys have been discarded because the woman reached that enlightened stage where she wanted what every woman in history has wanted, and now, being near the end of their reproductive cycle, they find going it alone not being everything it's cracked up to be. Isn't that weird? If Western women want to pursue their own path, men will get passports for foreign women who are best trained to be feminine and have less pain and stress. What most older women also don't realize is that no decent man would enter into a relationship with them when they're so desperate. As a man, the last thing you want to do is involve someone in your life, because in her eyes, you'll do. Women sure do seem to complain a lot, despite being given the freedom to play life on easy mode. Most homeless individuals are in fact men. Men are far more likely to be assaulted, murdered, and incarcerated, especially since women are almost never held accountable for their actions. Men are often forced into military service, and at the very least, must register for the draft. Women, despite infiltrating the armed forces wherein they receive the prestige associated with service, almost never perform truly dangerous jobs and are very frequently allowed to enter positions without meeting the predetermined standards. The prevalence of men dying from prostate cancer is 3 times higher than women who die from breast cancer. But all we hear about are women's issues. Try finding a dedicated men's clinic or other resources only for men. Men are also more likely to die by suicide and do not live as long as women who significantly outnumber them in nursing homes or assisted living facilities where they receive ongoing care. Most advanced degrees are now earned by women who enjoy vast support in the form of grants and scholarships and have quite literally driven males away from higher education. In today's world, it is difficult for you to find an ideal partner because most people care about material things, formalities, and appearances. I searched for a long time for true love, for the pure essence, for tenderness, and I did not find it. And her child became my moon, and he became her sun, but I did not find it. And yet I still believe that love exists, and that it is a very great thing. It needs to be taught to all young women straight from school that they have a limited shelf life in terms of reproduction, and there's a sweet spot when they are most fertile, and they need to seriously consider their options before it's too late. Awareness campaigns need to be made common to high school students, so they know the deal and the lonesome, sad future that awaits them if they go the route of career or job over being a mother and wife. The modern Western woman is no longer an ideal worth fighting or protecting. Just get out of the way. The best way to defend yourself from a punch is to make sure you are not present when it comes to a strike. I have also learned that women prefer money above all other considerations. The guy can be handsome, young, have many skills, have a good personality, is a great conversationalist, and why not, a great lover. But they don't have as much money as the woman, that is. They are worth less, in real terms, than that woman, and therefore he's not a good mate. The whole idea of strong and independent women is based on an extreme level of feminism that promotes male oppression, and women take over control of their entire life in an act of revenge against all the women who have been oppressed by men throughout history. It doesn't make sense, and it has far-reaching negative consequences for the idea of a family, which is on the decline in the Western world. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.